right, ladies and gentlemen, we are in for, you might want to say, an ego trip tonight, but was somebody's ego, let's just say, softened a little bit, let alone his shoulder? I'll talk about that. I'll certainly talk about what happened at November Knockout for our guest Three Rivers Championship against a man we spoke quite a bit about last month on Sportswire Radio, and we sort of saw what happened there, and our guest doesn't have something with him. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about what's ahead here coming up at Ego Trip, because we got a huge match coming up here, the last show before the historic 30th anniversary show, 30 years that PWX has been kicking. We're going to talk about that. Plus, we're going to talk about what is going on somewhere else against Damian Abel, which seemed like a Kane versus Abel type of match. And we'll talk about who knows whatever else you might want to talk about. I hope that this one won't hurt as much as what we saw at November Knockout, but I have no doubt that our guest is still a gentleman. I have no doubt that the fans still love our guest, and he is still also on top of that, certainly of high, exquisite caliber. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now here in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, where all wrestling matters, and even though that shoulder might hurt, my voice might hurt and screech just a little more after I do this introduction. But ladies and gentlemen, I could see here he's already squinting. I want to make sure I get him to the best of his abilities and now give him that introduction that you've been waiting for, he's been waiting for, everybody else in PWX has been waiting for, maybe you even, Jace Carr, maybe even you, Lestat, and maybe even you, John West. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get this show on the road here on Sportswire Radio, and let's now finally get to that introduction. So with that, wait for further ado here on the Sports Report. Number one, What show? The former PWX Three Rivers champion will always be on Sportswire Radio forever. That Three Rivers champion. His name is simply put the gentleman of Exquisite caliber, Godrick. My friend, how are we doing?
I'm in better spirits with such a gallant introduction as always, Reverend.
Well, considering I was falling half asleep on the New York City subway about an hour and a half ago, but it's like Batman, Superman, they just put the cape on, we get those bright lights on, and it just, everything's forgotten. But it's obviously an honor to have you back on Sportswire Radio, but I have to start off here at the top, especially for those on this platform that don't know. And we are, after all, in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters. The gentleman of exquisite caliber, Godrick Sandwell. How is that shoulder feeling right now?
I'd be lying if I said it was 100% right now, but it's been a lot better than it has been the last couple of days. I do have a little bit of motion in it.
Oh, well, you ain't going to be doing the locomotion anytime soon, unfortunately.
That I will not. I will leave the sachet to my hips. Thank you kindly.
Well, certainly we could play the board game Operation with you, but
Yeah.
well, I mean, we don't want you to laugh too hard there because we don't want you to now break a leg. But you've got to find a way to turn this around real quick. I'm going to put the poster up here in a second. We're going to talk about it because you have a match here this coming Saturday, and it's against the man, John West. So right now, the shoulder, I know it's not doing great. Maybe it's a little better than 2 weeks ago, and maybe certainly better after what happened at November Knockout. We're going to definitely touch upon that here in a few minutes, but you've got to find a way to heal as much as you can in these next few days and try to be as close to 100% as humanly possible to get a much-needed victory here coming up.
I do concur with that statement. I've been rehabbing the shoulder to the best of my ability, and like I showed you earlier, I got a little bit of motion back in it, and obviously it's still a little on the tender side. But as far as that John West goes, this Saturday, I'll be ready for him one way or another.
You're going to have to because you went through a lot. We're going to get to Jay's card. We're going to certainly talk about that here in 5 or 10 minutes, but you've got to just find a way. And I'm curious about this because we had you on here last month. We spoke certainly a lot about your illustrious career, but have you dealt with a shoulder injury before like this? And I mean, how is that going to impact you if this is the first time you've been dealing with this before?
Well, I've had shoulder injuries, I've had knee injuries, but not quite to this extreme. It's not every day that somebody quite literally rips your shoulder out of socket. But thankfully, my doctors told me it wasn't as bad as was once believed to be.
Well, you're going to have to obviously forget about all of that here. So I know it's one thing when you go into a big match and you have to prepare, when you're at 100%, but right now you're not at 100% and you need a victory now because obviously, like I said, we're going to touch upon Jay's car here in a few minutes and why you're no longer the Three Rivers champion. But how do you then prepare for something to this magnitude or a match like here when you're injured? I mean, how do you prepare for a match where you're not at 100%, not at full strength? So talk to me about that for the audience.
Well, given that this situation is a little bit newer to me, I'm just going to have to figure out a way to either muscle through this pain or I'm just going to have to keep the left shoulder away as much as humanly possible. I'm not sure if that's going to really jive.
John West, he is going to target that, and that's got to be a concern here coming up. I mean, how do you limit that? Limit him from targeting that shoulder because everybody knows what you've been going through because you've been on Ian's stream a couple of times and you weren't going to go on it, and then you came on it, then you were there on his last stream, and it was obviously painfully obvious. So how are you going to be able to limit him from trying to target that left shoulder?
Well, I will say the good news, with such an obvious injury, I know exactly where he's going to go. So if he tries to go for that shoulder, maybe use that to my advantage, maybe catch him with a nice right hand, something to that effect. Yes, Mr. John West, I see him right there.
Yeah. What kind of competitor is he for the audience? What can we expect from him and how you're going to be able to try to, deal with what he's going to try to bring to the table here coming up this Saturday, the Ego Trip?
Well, from what I have seen, and unfortunately it's a little bit limited between rehabbing my shoulder and trying to recollect myself.
Sure.
From the picture, I must respect another dapper-dressed gentleman, but from my understanding,
he looks more medieval than you. He looks like he could certainly play a role in medieval times rather than, you might be somebody here in New York City. We have a famous place that people go to called Cipriani's. You might be able to fit in there, whereas he might be able to fit into either Six Flags or medieval times.
Well, if that's ever the case, I think I will cheer for the Red Knight.
All right, so I can understand where you're coming from here in the sense that, okay, you're obviously rehabbing, not a lot to figure out, not a lot to talk about. So let me ask you then, before we get into what happened at November Knockout, how important is it for you to come away with a W to at least give you momentum for whatever comes your way next month, December 14th, at the historic PWX 30-year anniversary show?
Well, to call it paramount would be an egregious understatement. My understanding of Mr. John West, another individual that's traveled quite a bit as well. So he's going to be bringing me a lot of experiences that I probably have never seen before. So I must prepare for anything and everything because I'm fairly certain this individual will bring it as a certain ne'er do well
Well,
did
it's
with me.
funny you said that because what is it now with invaders? All of a sudden trying to make a name on you, Godrick Sandwell. What is with these invaders trying to make a name on a man that is of exquisite caliber?
Well, some part of me thinks it might be the name that draws attention because it is a little unusual, but I don't know. It appears yours truly has gotten a little bit more popular than he had anticipated. So, well, if Mr. John West wants to come by and try his hand with me, bad shoulder or no, I'm more than happy to take him on.
Well, we're going to certainly find out here. And I'm going to put up the link to actually buy a ticket to the show because it's coming up here this Saturday. We're very excited about coverage here for our friends in PWX. Obviously, we've been doing some PWX coverage here now for the past 3 or 4 months. And we look forward to that to continue here coming up. And of course, our guest here right now is Godrick Sandwell. He's the gentleman of exquisite caliber. And he's going to be in action here despite this very, very painful shoulder here coming up on the road to the 30-year anniversary show for our friends here in PWX. Obviously, congratulations to the company and you and everybody else a part of that company. But, that would bother me a little bit that all of a sudden these invaders are coming in here. And do you feel like, especially after what happened with you and Mr. Carr, that it's maybe personal for you to come away with a victory, especially when it's another guy that really has made his name elsewhere in John West?
To call this one a personal matter, I'm not so sure I would go that far because though I do know the name of John West, he has done nothing egregious to me, and to my knowledge, I've done nothing. I've done nothing to him as far as I
Well, James
know.
Carr, we thought that was the case, and we saw what happened there and what led into November Knockout. I mean, so we don't know. We just don't know, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of unknowns do go into this. I do agree, but well, if he's if the manner of garb that he's wearing is any indication, perhaps Mina can try to talk things out.
Okay, well, we'll certainly find out. We'll take this off the screen for now, and we'll put you back on the bigger screen. I don't know why you just. There you go. I think for
Hello.
whatever reason, yeah, we lost. We went. I think I pressed the wrong button, but we'll have you here back. That does happen. So, all right. So we'll come back to John West. We'll certainly come back to him in a little while. But you were the Three Rivers champion, and what a champion you were. The fans were so behind you, and you did a tremendous job as champion. But unfortunately, at November Knockout, you unfortunately suffered your own knockout to that man, Jace Carr. And I want to talk about that now because we have to get into that here. And why did you say, though, to start, for those that are listening and watching here on Sportswire Radio and Prime Time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, Godrick Sandwell, the gentleman of exquisite caliber, that you felt like you failed and you let everybody down? Why?
Well, it's quite simple. As you saw, I mean, Mr. Carr, I'll give him all the credit in the world. He gave me everything I can handle, and obviously a little bit more. As far as my mindset after that, the PWX faithful and even the locker room, they were counting on me to repel this invader. They were counting on me to send him back to wherever it is that he came from, wherever he just popped out of the blue and obviously attacks me, and I wanted him, and clearly I couldn't do that. I failed to stop him.
But I don't think that you're a failure. I know that you wanted to stop this invader. I know that you gave it your best, but I'm going to agree with what Ian said with you a week and a half or so ago. Was the fans still believe in you? The fans know that you gave it your best. I mean, unfortunately, you were put in a condition where you passed out. There was just nothing that you could have did, and this invader came in, and well, he made his name, and he made his name off you. But I don't think that the fans feel like you let them down. It was just what it was, more or less. And I don't think one match makes or takes away from everything you've done in representing PWX.
I can only hope that that is an accurate statement. This Saturday, I'm going to be there. Bad shoulder. If I have to rip this off, if I have to duct tape it doesn't matter. I'll be there. I'll be there, man. I'll make no bones about it.
Oh, I hope you feel better. I definitely, we're all rooting for you there. But I mean, like, you are, I think, doing something for the fans here and not being 100%, but you're still going out there. I think that in some ways that does make up for what happened at November Knockout. Because look at you even here tonight. I mean, you're not 100%. You are here basically. I mean, this is really like, this is Willis Reed like in sports. I mean, this is just, the bloody sock with Kurt Schilling all those years ago. What you're doing here tonight, I mean, this is heroic. And I have no doubt coming up here this Saturday, PWX Ego Trip, it's going to be another heroic like performance for you, Godrick Sandwell, because what you're doing here, I mean, I've been doing this a long time. I've been doing this for almost 6 years. I've had on wrestlers from all around the world. I've had on politicians. I've had on professional athletes, college athletes, you name them. But I don't know if I've seen somebody like you basically here, not 100%, but this is a heroic, Herculean-like effort for you, good sir. And you are still here. And I think the fans are going to remember that. And this is the way you're going to redeem yourself here coming up this Saturday at Eagle Trip.
Well, first of all, you were very kind to compare me to a Heracles, and secondly, I can only hope so. I can only pray that the PWX faithful and any watching at any point are in a forgiving mood.
You were almost in tears when you spoke with Ian, but why? I mean, realistically, it happens. People lose and win all the time. We see it just everywhere. Everybody goes through. Nobody's undefeated. I mean, Goldberg, according to the Who Killed WCW, might have wanted to have kept his streak longer, but the reality of it is that everybody does eventually lose, and you had a bad day. And why were you in tears? Why were you in tears a week and a half ago?
Because, like I said before, I needed to be the one that stopped Jay's car. I don't know what it was about me that he picked. I don't know if he liked my name. I don't know if he wanted my grandma's cookie recipe or something. But he came after me for a reason. And regardless of the reason, he chose me, and I needed to be the one that stopped him. And I failed to do it. I failed to do it, and I don't know if you saw this a little bit ago. He posted another promo saying that he's going to be recruiting some assistants, which makes me actually feel even worse about this, because now his influence is going to spread like a plague, and the one person that was in a position.
Regardless, listen, if you would have beat him at November Knockout, that would have happened anyway. I mean, at the end of the day, if he had plans, that was just nothing you could do about that. If people have plans to do things, you're not, just because you would have won or had a different outcome, it's not going to change what he wanted to do. It's just not.
Perhaps so, but I had to try. Maybe I could have slowed him down at the bare minimum. Maybe realistically, I would have loved to have stopped him altogether, but that just wasn't the case. I will give him all the props in the world, though. However, even a gentleman must give a ne'er-do-well his due, because the fact is, all that experience, the fact that he's been here, there, everywhere, man. He
You've been other places. I mean, we're going to talk about Damian Abel here in a few minutes. I mean, at the end of the day, look, I mean, we spoke about this when you were here last month. I don't think that you could have did anything differently. I don't think you could have prepared differently, because this was somebody that wasn't a roster member from PWX. This wasn't somebody that had a caliber in terms of how many matches you could go back and watch. Sure, he's a name in other places, but in this company that you've called home, where you proudly held that Three Rivers Championship, you couldn't have planned any differently. The reality of it was you could have done nothing differently.
uh, perhaps you're right. Perhaps you're right. Unfortunately, and I apologize for saying this, Reverend, but it's not a lot of comfort. I still feel like I should have stopped him.
Well, unfortunately, you can't go back and change the past. And we wish the shoulder was feeling a little better. But before we do anything else, we do have to get to some business. And that business is Ego Trip coming up here this Saturday. Front row seats, $20 only. You know, in New York City, I'm going to go and see Gladiator coming up here this weekend. Gladiator 2, right? That's going to cost me a lot more than a front row seat to watch PWX Ego Trip. I'm going to go out between everything I'm going to spend. It's going to be 2 to 3 times what it's going to cost to go out and watch a premier wrestling show. You're going to see the likes of Lestat. You're going to see the likes of Jace Carr. You're going to see the likes of Godrick Sandwell, John West, and a slew of other people. And all you have to do is go to this link that I've put right here. I'm on the Eventbrite page, and all you have to do is go there. It's going to be, once again, at 2125 Beacon Street in McKeesport, Pennsylvania. Bell time is 7 o'clock. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, and you're going to have another action-packed show. And again, it's not BYOB, but there'll be plenty of beverages, plenty of food there. So if you want to go, get there early so you can go and be a part of the crowd and get to see all these great matches, because PWX continues to show why they are the #1 Pittsburgh wrestling outlet. They're one of the top independent wrestling companies out there around, which is why we are so excited to talk about it once again. And again, these are the tickets. All you have to do is click on that Get Tickets. All you got to do is go follow here. All you got to do is sign in. You follow 2125 Beacon Street, McKeesport, Pennsylvania. And there's no refund. You're not going to need a refund. Trust me. You're going to basically you're going to get a discount for going to this show. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Free venue parking. It's going to be just a slew of great talent, and I'm so pumped up for it. We just can't wait. And there it is there. So we're going to put this off the screen. Going to come back to this, and I want to go back to what happened at the match with Jace Carr. So, you talked about a number of different things, but the fans will still be with you. Are you concerned this Saturday against John West that the fans aren't going to be behind you? Is that something you are concerned about a little bit? Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
As I said before, they were counting on me to repel this invader, and I didn't. So honestly, if some of them would look at me in a more negative light, I suppose, I would understand 100%.
No, I don't think they are. I think that the fans are seeing that these last couple of weeks you've been fighting, you have been setting an example, and I think that you are most certainly showing that you are going to give it everything you've got until literally that shoulder pops off your body there, and that might happen, that might not happen, but I am very excited regardless. And let me get to some comments here, because I want to change gears a little bit and then we'll come back into PWX. I realize that shoulder's in a lot of pain, and I don't want to keep you here for 2 hours because that could
No,
very well.
please. I am here for you. I am here for everybody watching. I'm here.
You appreciate that, but let me get to the chat. Zilla's in the house. Would like to say hello. Want to say hello to my friend Rob Ryan, all the way out there in Australia. For our friends in Wrestling Zero, who have sort of a company with almost the same initials that they have their own company with, but definitely we'll say hello to that. And want to say hello, yes, to Rob. Want to say hello to my buddy Codester in the great state of Ohio. Yes, Cody, I spoke to Mr. Judas earlier. He's talking about Judas's mom. She's been in the hospital. We're definitely praying for her. And definitely wants to point out, though, that the SpongeBob movie turned 20 years ago today. Yeah, time flies. That's what tells me is that we're getting old, Cody. We are getting old. If the SpongeBob movie is 20 years old, that means we are definitely getting old. That's what that tells me. So thank you for reminding us that we're getting old. But we are
much appreciated. Yes.
Yeah, much appreciated. Wink and a nod, maybe not. Definitely, we do appreciate Codester from Blizzard Wrestling, and we thank him and also Judas for his support. We hope he's watching us out there. Yes, prayers. Also, here, hello. Zilla's wishing you a speedy recovery. We're all wishing you a recovery. Let me ask you, though,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Is there any concern here coming up this Saturday? You can do further damage to the shoulder against John West. Any concerns with that?
Well, first, Ms. Zilla, thank you. I appreciate that. And while being in this business in general, you can do damage to any part of your body at any time. And I'm willing to take that chance to do what I need to do to pull away a monumentally needed win.
You do need a win. There's no question that you do need a win. Fellow wrestler Rob wants to wish you good luck. Yes, you're not a failure. You're definitely not a failure. And the person we were talking about is Jace Carr, who won the Three Rivers Championship from the gentleman of exquisite caliber, Godrick Sandwell, our guest. So that's what we're talking about. Okay. I know that I could talk a little more about PWX, but I want to change gears very briefly because you wrestled a match. As a matter of fact, you wrestled it this weekend. You actually wrestled it here this past Saturday in
yes, I did.
WWF, and I actually have the footage here, and I want to play it for our audience. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to do that. I have it queued up here right now, so we'll watch that. We'll talk about it here against Damian Abel. So I'm going to put the volume on, and I'm going to put you here, and we could see you there with the shoulder. I mean, this is, you're there, and you're in a lot of pain there. You're basically one-armed Godrick Sandwell. You're the gentleman of exquisite one-arm caliber wrestling, I suppose. But, I mean, I guess that's something you haven't done before, but you're doing it. You're still doing the dance. You're still coming out to the music. The people are still happy. But, I mean, definitely you're a one-armed man.
Yeah. I still promise to be there in Parkersburg, and a promise must be kept as best as humanly possible. One arm or no, I was in Parkersburg with one clear mission in mind, and unfortunately, their hybrid champion decided to take the night off. But you know what? That's all right. That's all right. We can have a tussle with that ruffian another day.
Well, that's unfortunate there. Very unfortunate, but we could see you're in a lot of pain there, but you take the microphone. Let's play it here for the audience. Let's do that here right now. Let's let you hear you speak.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, how we doing tonight?
Godrick Sandwell! Let's go!
I know I'm probably violently deaf, but I'm going to try that one more time. WBWF faithful, let me hear you when I say, how we doing tonight?
How we doing tonight?
Now that's the kind of excitement I want to hear. And speaking of excitement, I'm going to start off tonight with a question.
We got a question. We got a question.
Has anybody seen that dastardly prodigy?
We weren't going to mention his name, but you did it. You did that.
Yes, I did.
I do concur. And everybody, a round of applause for Noel Lester!
Yeah!
I must give everybody their props.
Thank you.
You're a gentleman of exquisite caliber.
I Okay, let's give it a try. Because I do gotta give it up for $1 shot teacher!
Yeah!
I tried. I'm sorry. It's the way you gave me just though. But anyway.
Yeah, he did give me a shellacking last time we played.
I've noticed that Dastardly Prodigy is nowhere in the building.
That sounds cowardly. Now, that would sound like the fans wouldn't like him
I
very
do
much.
concur. Surprise, surprise indeed. Because,
As I said in there, not really a surprise.
you know, whoever his client is could not fill his coffers up just enough to stack up with yours truly. That's a rather unfortunate fate. Well, for yours truly, because I had every intention of being your brand new hybrid champion tonight!
Yeah!
Yeah!
So you know what? Since that's not going to be the case, it would make one morose. But since I'm here, I'm interested in having a match tonight. How about all of you?
You know, you have a lot of fans. The fans aren't going to hate you this Saturday, but what you're doing
So,
is very courageous. Very courageous. Giving the fans still what they want.
is
They're
there
going to
anybody
don't you
who
worry.
would
I hope so.
want to face
I
my
hope so.
gentleman
We
of
will.
my exquisite caliber tonight? Well, I haven't heard that music in a while.
Right? Is that who I think? Who I
My
think?
ears see me or did he actually show up?
Is that? No. It can't be. It just can't be. And I think, wait a minute, is that? Oh my goodness, it's one half of the WWF Championship champion. Amen. This is big. Oh my God. Godrick Sandwell, you certainly got what you wanted. You're getting a fight. You were getting one, and it's going to be a war.
Yeah. It was what I seek, and Damian Abel was certainly able to give me just that.
Well, you know what? We're going to certainly watch some of it here. And boy, Damian Abel is just, I mean, he is just right now a man. I mean, you're going to have to deal with him here in this match. And, you know, certainly not the match you wanted, but you're going to get a match nevertheless. And he's just coming out. He's not even looks like he's talking to you. He's just ready to go out there and have a war with you. This is going to be a war. Well, he's taking that microphone. We're going to see what he has to say here next. Let's pull it up here. Let's pull it up. And I don't know, you are doing gentlemanly duties here. I'm not sure why. I wouldn't have done the same thing, but we'll still allow the volume to be turned up here to allow one half of the WWF Tag Team Champions to speak at Damian Abel.
Mr. Sandwell.
Sir.
So, I've been gone a minute. More than this, sir. More than that. And you're the number one contender to my title. Sometimes. I've done that a time or two.
Oh my God.
No, I'm talking about the Hybrid Championship.
Ooh.
I was screwed out of by Prodigy.
Oh, you and him have something in common.
Never got my
Yeah, he does have a legitimate claim. I was informed of that earlier in the night.
So,
Well,
my calculations are correct. I am the number one contender for the Hybrid Championship, sir, not you. And while that statement is accurate, it has been decreed on by high that I am your number one contender as well.
mmm.
I must say, this is an interesting conundrum that we find ourselves in.
'Twas indeed.
Is that so?
Let them fight! Let them fight! Let them fight!
Well, the hired gun decided to go hide in his treasure trove tonight.
Oh!
Agreed. Agreed. Gotta give the demon his due.
Ooh.
So, since you were correct, and you are correct,
You can look
there
this stuff
cannot
up on
be
Earth.
two number one contenders in this town. Because the fact of the matter is, there can be only one number one contender.
That's what we're gonna.
So what do you say?
If we have one number one contender to that hybrid championship prodigy, you better be watching because Damian Abel and Godrick Sandwell are going to war right now.
Bad shoulder or no, if you want to be the rightful number one contender, so do I.
Amen. Amen. Testify.
Mr. Lester, could you please make this official, please?
Oh, we better make this one official. We've seen it so far for about 90 minutes.
I hope.
You lost! You did not hear him. Apparently, since we're all talking like this now, it is now official. Whoever wins this is number one contender.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get it on. To quote Mills Lane, let's get it on. And we are going on here. Godrick Sandwell is just Herculean-like here with one shoulder. He's still going out there. He wants gold. He wants more gold. And Damian Abel wants to be a double champion, a singles and a tag champion. We're going to get this match here and some here on Sportzwire Radio. We are so thankful that WVWF has granted us this opportunity to show this historic match between these two warriors, and we're going to see it here. And boy, the WVWF faithful is just fired up right now as we are. We are just fired up here like there's no other time. And here we go. Those fans, and the handshake shows that you are definitely a gentleman of exquisite caliber here. And just, we're going to get it on a war.
Yeah, him and I do have great respect between each other, but when it comes to matters of business, well, unfortunately, respect goes out the window.
You got to throw that all out the window. It don't matter. What matters is a shot at certainly Prodigy and get that hybrid championship. And, we're going to see if you can continue to battle your way through this just absolutely horrific injury. And, you're going to try your best here, but you are using your agility here right now. Try to fake him out here a little bit. Use a veteran tactic here and smart move by you to start.
Yeah, indeed. He's the far bigger competitor than I, so better keep my shoulder in one piece, but definitely get out of the way of that coming at me freight train.
Well, you're gonna have to figure out real quick what to do here, and we are watching Godrick Sandwell and Damian Abel, one half of the WVWF Tag Team Champions. As I see some people come into the YouTube stream, we thank you for tuning in. Please hit the sub button for our friends here at Courtney Wood, also us on Sportswire Radio. Here we go. You guys are just brawling, but he's going to use his size. He's going to use his strength to work you down and wear you down a little bit. Especially, he's going for the shoulder, it looks like right now. Trying to rip that shoulder out of your socket, basically.
Yep, that was his aim. That was his game. And as much respect as I have for Damian Abel, I can't fault him for going after my shoulder. It's an obvious target. I probably would do the exact same thing had the roles be reversed.
Well, why go into a match like this literally just days after what happened to you? I mean, you are risking it all here. You are risking it all. Why? Why do this?
For the love of the game, for the championship, most importantly, for the honor of the fame.
At the cost of your health. You could be permanently risking the use of your shoulder by doing what you're doing here right now. And yet you still go through this.
Yes, I do. And I will do it all over again.
Well, I mean, it's certainly gutsy. I'll say that much here. And we're joined here by the one and only DVG. And he'd like to say hello there. Yes, hello. We're watching Godrick Sandwell and Damian Abel here from WVWF. And you are using here some rather clever tactics here to try to get down your opponent. And it doesn't quite work. But if at first it doesn't work, you may try a second time, and you've now taken off what looks like the shoulder wrappage there. Why? Why even do that? That just seems to me even more suicidal.
Well, it
was a caliber.
It was coming off anyways. I was figuring it's starting to get in my way, and well, the damage had already started. So I was just like, you know what? Let's just do this to the absolute zenith of my abilities, especially at that particular moment.
Mm.
And there I go. Ow! That hurts me just watching that. Oh.
Well, I mean, especially from a man like Damian Abel, what kind of competitor is he for the audience?
Yeah, I mean, he's yet another demon in this business, so you can imagine that his ferocity is, as is said these days, is it on point? I think it is.
He looks like he's definitely on point when it comes to hitting the gym, but you do use your agility to get him down here. He hits the turnbuckle, and now you get him back. You're working your own offense here. Very good. Good tactics here, and you use some chops, and that's a good way. But he's just looking at you like maybe he would just be on the line for waiting for a beverage at a 7-Eleven. But he comes back, and he does the same to him. Oh, my God, especially with oh my God, the pain. They say no gain, but I just don't know. Godrick Sandwell, I just don't know.
Yeah, that's. I think I felt that for the next probably about 5 hours minimum.
I would have felt it until you're on this platform right now, and even then, look at what he does there. Oh my God, 1, 2, and just. That's the first count of the match, by the way. It was our first count, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe so. I think they felt that tremor for some of our neighbors in maybe the other states. That was nasty.
I felt that because I'm here in New York, and we're certainly sort of a neighbor state to you, but you're taking a beating here right now.
Yeah, as much as ostentatious as my shoulder in that condition, but I'm still gonna go for it. I'm not gonna let this slow me down, even though maybe I should.
Let me ask you this question. We saw you last month against Prodigy, and I hate to bring his name up, but I'm going to do it in this context. How different of a competitor is Damian Abel versus Prodigy?
Well, both of these competitors are game. They're both champions for a very good reason. I'm not going to take anything away, but I will say that Damian Abel came at me with a little bit more ferocity, even though it was a little bit more of a respectful ferocity. But he kept it. And there goes my rib.
There, and I'm squinting. I'm like looking at it like you got really some balls to go out and wrestle with an injury to this magnitude. I think a lot of people would use that as an excuse for a sick day. They would just. That's just the way I would interpret this. But you're fighting. You're really fighting against a man that's, probably twice your size, and you're just giving it everything you got. And Zilla, Damian Abel is the man that Godrick Sandwell is wrestling right now. He is one half of the WVWF Tag Team Champions here in the great state of Pennsylvania. And we want to follow our friends at WVWF. And speaking of Pennsylvania wrestling, I'll be here tomorrow at 8 o'clock with Andrew Lovelace and referee Ricky Allen. I'll be here with Andrew Lovelace. I won't ask him about PWX, but I will ask him about his referee he's with. But we'll certainly see what Mr. Lovelace has to say. But we'll see if he'll be looking at the mirror still. Something tells me he won't be having any peanut butter with him, but we'll certainly find out, wink and a nod. But until then, we're watching Godrick Sandwell and Damian Abel in a match to determine who is that number one contender to that championship that these two men are fighting over here. But right now, you're just in pain right now. I mean, that's painful. Just watching you go through the agony of what you're going through here. It amazes me. That's why I don't think the fans are going to be let down by you. What you're going through here, this is unbelievable. Look at the fight. Look at those punches. Down the stretch they come, giving it everything he's got. Godrick Sandwell. Look at, and He wants to go and get a burst in, but he can't because of the pain. I mean, Godrick Sandwell, this is just, it's even, kids don't try this at home is all I could say. Kids do not try this at home.
Yeah, please do not. Whether he is pure demon or whether he is Cambion, Damian Abel, you are certainly pardoning a intended pun here. You are one hell of a competitor.
Oh, you know what? And that's like a freight train just now that we just saw. You had a freight train that went and hit you, and you went through it 1, 2, but you found a way. You could have just stayed down there just now. You could easily just stay down.
That is not the Sandwell way. That was instilled to me by my family. We don't stay down easily.
But that's not a smart way, especially after what you're going through here in this matchup.
Well, perhaps so, and I do agree with you, but boy, I want that hybrid championship, and I still do.
I know you want that hybrid championship. You're fighting for that. It's a championship that means so much here, but just, I mean, you're fighting. I got to say, the courage that you have here, unbelievable, this courage that we're seeing you right now with just a whole bunch of courage. Unbelievable here, and the nice little drop kick there, and giving it everything you got, giving it everything. Just I could see the squinting, and then you go 1, 2. I think you might have just got a 2, but barely. There's no way you're putting down Damian Abel like that 1/2.
Yeah, not like that.
No, definitely not. But you know what? You got to wear him down. You got to find something. Are you trying to figure out just anything to work here right now?
At that particular moment, I'm just thinking, well, I don't have a shoulder, which means I don't have my power game. So what do I need to do? Do I need to take to the skies and take my chances? So it's like, well, here I go.
Well, what's your mindset right now? Is there a mindset of like, hey, nothing works, or just throw anything out there, see if it works? Like, what's the mindset here right now?
My mindset at this exact instant is, oh crap, I'm gonna die more than likely, and well,
that's gonna hurt. That's a back break.
There's my evidence.
1, 2. Oh, but thankfully 2. It looked like about 9/10. 2 and 9/10.
Yeah, it was a little closer account than I would have preferred.
But you know what, though? You still kicked out. You showed the fight. You show what you're going to bring to the table. You're coming. There's the drop kick. You're working on that. Maybe the drop kick is what you're going to be using here a lot. Maybe that's going to help you here, not only with Damian Abel, but certainly with John West coming up here this Saturday, PWX Ego Trip. We're going to put that Eventbrite up here in about 10 minutes here. We're going to put that link up so everybody can go out and buy that ticket and join, especially if you're nearby in McKeesport and also everywhere you're out there. But here we go. You're fighting. You're just fighting here, and I just showing a lot of heart here right now, and just that's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt anybody.
Yeah,
you still can't get him down. You can't get this guy down. I just don't know what you can do, but you're gonna try. You're gonna keep trying.
And, I got just the trick for this one.
Oh, that's what you see here. Oh my God! Was that a Canadian destroyer off the top rope?
Nope.
Kind of.
It was not. It was a blockbuster, actually.
Well, it looked like it from here, but boy, you definitely showed that you are the stuff, and you are definitely more than buff to do that move. And certainly, though, we thought that would have finished it. But I know the pain. I know the pain here doing this interview, and I know. But we thought you had him. We thought you had Damian Abel there.
So did I at that particular moment. And again,
I mind there after not finishing it there. You thought you definitely had him.
Yeah, I thought I had him at that particular moment. I'm just thinking, what will my body allow me to do besides this here?
Rather but an 814, but a Godrick Sandwell, gentleman of exquisite caliber, and you know, like how I know. Just stay put. I mean, you are doing everything you can to try to get your shot back at that hybrid championship, and it's just. I mean, I know if it ain't first. Don't succeed, you try again, but you're gonna fall into that, and that's just, you're gonna just fall into that there. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. Oh, wait a minute! I think Abel's down. Abel is down, and Abel just goes back to the outside, and Could this be your moment here? And the referee is counting. The referee is counting. The referee is counting, continuing. Wait a minute. What is Godrick saying? Oh, my God. Godrick Sandwell with the shoulder and everything. Wait.
But unfortunately,
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
hurts me
There's
just
no
watching.
way we can continue afterwards. Godrick Sandwell, in the pain you're in, to still do this? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. This is going to end in the outside. Godrick Sandwell. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Yeah, this is going to be a no contest. Ring that bell. Double count out. This is just.
Yep.
Oh my God. Oh, I mean, I don't know what you were thinking there. You're lucky to be alive, and the referee is disgusted. I don't even know if I've seen a referee that disgusted before, and he certainly ain't the referees that, let's say, guys that used to come on this platform the last time we talked about PWX. And yeah, I mean, that was just Godrick Sandwell. What in God's green earth were you thinking there? Going off the top rope and fighting the way you were? Fighting the way you were.
Well, first of all, thank you for the pun on the shirt that I'm wearing. And second, again, same thing. The honor of the fans, the prestige of the championship, that means the world to me. And I wanted that prodigy to know, to see what whenever he does, if it was now, then whenever if I am at WWF, he is in my crosshairs. And this is no disrespect to Damian Abel. I do consider him a little bit of an associate of mine. I hope he considers me at least somewhat on friendly terms, but two gentlemen want the same thing. Either one steps aside or will be moved. It's just that simple.
But you risked your life literally there.
Yes, I did.
You were risking your life for this?
Yes.
And you're worried about the fans not believing in you after what I just saw? They're going to definitely believe in you. They're going to definitely be on your side. I don't see why they wouldn't.
I can only hope so. But if they are still truly behind me, for the WWF faithful, for the PWX faithful, for wherever else that I land, for their faithful fans, I will continue to give everything I can, whether my shoulder's at 10%, 100%, 1,000%, whether the rest of me is in a body cast, screwed together, glued together, duct taped together. It doesn't matter. I will do everything in my power to be there.
Well, you know what? I'm amazed at what the gentleman exquisite caliber, Godrick Sandwell, is doing. So, ladies, gentlemen, angels and demons, and all points between, I'm going to put up here for a very brief moment his Facebook page, because we have people that are in and out of the chat. I want to let them say hello, and I'm going to take this off because my Facebook page is locked out on the laptop. But if you do want to say hello here, you can see what's coming, and you're going to see that match here coming up here. Ego Trip this weekend. PWX, Pro Wrestling Express, on the road to the 30th year anniversary show, December 14th. And there he is. And that's before the shoulder injury. And definitely, you must be popular for some reason. You're worried about the fans not believing in you. Yeah, they're going to definitely be behind you. Don't you worry about that. They're going to definitely be behind you. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally where all wrestling matters. And if you are on Sportzwire Radio, we're going to be on here again with Andrew Lovelace tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Certainly, I'm sure he'll have a few things to say. I won't bring up Max Strong, but I'll certainly bring up some other things there for sure. But we are here with Mr. Sandwell for a little while longer. And I do want to say hello to Mr. Chase Wakefield. Did you make it to the show on November Knockout, Chase? And hopefully you do invite Godrick Sandwell to your wedding, because I think we spoke about the wedding last time. So I want to make sure that you do get invited to that wedding. You don't live far away, and we want to certainly make sure that James Taylor and everybody else out there also gets an invite alongside the one and only Godrick Sandwell, who did lose that Three Rivers Championship, but the fans are still behind him. You rest assured, those fans, they're still behind you, and I have no doubt that they're going to certainly have a big stake coming up here this Saturday and we're going to be on that road to the historic 30-year anniversary show, which will take place December 14th. Now, we watched a lot there, but I would imagine that we're not done with Damian Abel. But what I saw is what you're going to transfer going into what's going to take place this Saturday, right, against John West. We're going to transfer some of that and use that here for a victory from what I just saw tonight. That we're going to use?
That would be correct. Granted, I did not win that match, but I also didn't lose either, so I'll take a...
Because you walked off on your own fruition. That's what I learned. You walked because you won because you're alive right now. No, seriously, and I think that that's what's going to happen. I think that that's ultimately that's to me the win. You won because you obviously are walking and you're here, and I think that's important to remember. Let me ask you a few more things here as we get ready to close for the second half of the show and the last quarter of it.
Please do.
We're going to certainly use this, though, what happened, as motivation to what happened with you and Jace Carr. And John West is the unlucky opponent. And talk to me about how losing in some ways that Three Rivers Championship is going to give you motivation here this weekend to start the road, maybe even to some other goals in PWX, don't you think?
Well, that is a very distinct possibility. I'm certainly open to, I mean, if once we get some tag team gold back in PWX, I'd be certainly game to go for that. If Lestat would ever wish to face me in that ring for his heavyweight championship, I would be most honored to face a very good friend in a hard-hitting contest, bad shoulder or not.
We're talking with each other, and there was certainly a mutual respect. There was obviously, and he was even telling you just about the fact that the fans are still behind you. Now, he was certainly in your corner. So there's still a lot of people out here. And I want to say hello to our friends in beautiful Bensalem, Pennsylvania, in BC. I want to say hello to everybody out there. Tommy Good and obviously Maxwell Reeves, who was on here not too long ago, and everybody there, and certainly not NJN, but we'll certainly get to him a different time. But the fans are still behind you, and Lestat was too. I mean, he was with you on the stream, and you guys were having, I think, a great conversation.
Yeah, I agree, and there's more than mutual respect between me and him, and not to get, as you would say, mushy gushy on such a broadcast.
You know, he'll be watching this eventually. They'll be watching this on the replay. You know that, and I know that.
That's fine, but like I said, not to get mushy gushy on here, but I genuinely love Lestat. I really do. He's been nothing but great to me. He's been an ardent supporter, as you've pointed out, and he continues to have every ounce of backing that I can provide if he ever needs it. And I can only hope that he would be there for me as well.
But how about that prospect of, who knows what the future brings? One day, you and him as a tag team? I mean, that would be, you want to talk about the roof blowing off there and on 2125 Beacon Street? Forget about it. I mean, they may have to build a second PWX arena for you guys. Could you imagine that?
Oh, indeed, that would.
Banana splits all over the place, but nah.
Well, maybe the day would come that Lestat and yours truly could go for the PWX tag team gold. I would certainly not balk at that opportunity. It would be a tremendous honor to work with him, or should we find ourselves on opposite sides in the ring, I would revel in that day as well, and I only hope he would do the same.
Well, we're going to certainly find out, no question about that, and I want to put up the link here before we get to a few other things here. I'd like to put that link up for our friends here one more time. If you want to go watch a pro wrestling show here coming up this Saturday, Ego Trip. And it's going to be coming up here again at 2125 Beacon Street in beautiful McKeesport, Pennsylvania. We're going to get you off the air very soon. $20 front row, only $20. Listen, I'm going to see Gladiator 2 and that's going to be for an IMAX seat. Forget it. I'm going to pay more for that, and I'm not going to have the same view. General admission is only $15, and the doors open at 6:30. So it means you're going to be out the door here by 10:30. You go out and go. Maybe you want to go to the movies still. You can even do that because you got to watch Ego Trip. Look at what Godrick Sandwell. He's had this heroic performance tonight here on Sportswire. He is here right now with us. He's going to be in action against John West. You're going to see so many other great people there as well. This is where you can go. You go to the PWX page for more information. You can see it right here with us. And again, it's another action-packed show on that road to the historic 30-year anniversary PWX show, December the 14th. What better way to start your Thanksgiving weekend and week plans by buying a ticket for you and the kids and the family? What a night out this would be by going and watching Ego Trip. Godrick Sandwell and John West are going to be one of the premier shows. Definitely many repeat customers. You tell them Sportswire Radio sent you. You tell them the Reverend Tom Bryce sent you. Go follow on Eventbrite. It's at eventbrite.com/E/ego -trip -tickets. You'll go see all that information there. Godrick Sandwell is going to be a huge part of it. We cannot wait to talk about the fallout of this here and some. Very, very excited about that. Plus, who knows whatever else. So we'll take this off the screen here. So let me get a couple more things out of you. First, if you had anything else you wanted to say to the man that holds your title for now in Jace Carr, what would they be?
Well, I'll say this because this is something that was fairly current. I heard a rumor straight from him that he's not going to be there for Ego Trip for whatever the reason. I honestly don't really care why he's not there. I just kind of want to know what, like, look, I'm owed a rematch, and yeah, I'll admit it. You made me pass out to that dreaded Kimura, and you gave me this bad shoulder. So as far as I'm concerned, I kind of owe you one, maybe two. But
is that not showing up and defending that championship? You were a fighting champion. You were here every show defending that championship. Boy, that's going to make your blood boil, and you're going to take all this aggression out on John West, I know, this Saturday due to that.
Well, to John West, I am sorry. It's not personal. It's just, I guess you would say, just kind of a bad case of wrong place, wrong time. I'm a little bit more upset about this still than angry, but well, the fact is, Jace Carr, I don't know where you're going this Saturday, but the fact that you're not going to be in McKeesport, yeah, I'm not too happy about that. But if you really want to recruit some assistance, well, isn't that just great?
Well, we're going to certainly find out all of that. I can see you're in a lot of pain, so I'm going to ask you one more question before I get to closing thoughts. And we are so grateful that you have spent any time with us, considering the condition that you're in. I hope by no. I know this is one of the most heroic performances in Sportswire Radio history, and I can see that. I mean, obviously, we wish Aaron Rodgers showed maybe some of the same things for the Jet fans here locally. I won't go into that. We're in Steelers country there in beautiful McKeesport, but if you wanted to say anything else to the audience before this Saturday, what would you want to say?
Well, before I get to that, Reverend Bryce, as always, it is an honor and a privilege to be here. Please make no bones about that, all right?
Well, you have bones right now that are in a lot of pain, so, I mean, we don't want to joke about the bones.
Fair point. But to address any of the fans that are watching, I know I've said this before. I'll say this again since I'm here. For anybody who was there or who watched at any point, if you were let down by me because I could not repel this invader, I'm sorry, and I promise you, I'm going to do everything I can to try to make this right. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but I'm going to find a way. I'll find a way to set this wrong right. Or if not, I don't know yet.
Well, I tell you what. It's going to start. The Redemption's Tour. The redemption of the gentleman of exquisite caliber, Godrick Sandwell. It's all going to start here coming up this Saturday. 7 o'clock is when the bell starts. Doors open at 6:30 for Ego Trip. And the only one that's going to be on an Ego Trip is going to be Godrick Sandwell, because what he's going to do to John West is going to be the start of that road back to gold, that road to the historic 30-year anniversary show that PWX has. And I have no doubt that you're going to do everything you possibly can, despite all the pain, the heroic performance you put on here tonight. It's only going to continue, undoubtedly, this Saturday, coming up here at PWX Express. And before I get to closing thoughts, I do want to say hello to, speaking of people we were praying for earlier, the evil angel Judas, of course, from nearby Ohio and Marion.
Oh.
Young man in Ohio, Marion. His mom has obviously been going through a couple things we've been praying for. We've seen Judas on Instagram. We definitely want to see Judas back on Sportswire when he's ready. You've put on your own heroic performance tonight. Judas has heroically been battling his own stuff at home, and he had his own situation where he nearly died 2 months ago and went in the ring and won a ticket to a world title. So you two both have a lot in common in fighting against the odds and fighting through pain and broken bones and near heart, blood pressure, and who knows, whatever else. But that's why I know you're going to come back here and get the job done here. So I'm going to give you the floor. I'm going to give you some closing thoughts. One more time, I'm going to put up your Facebook page so the audience can see that as well, so people can follow you, get in touch with everything that the gentleman of exquisite caliber, Godrick Sandwell, forever, our PWX Three Rivers champion, is always doing. So I pass the baton to you, give you some closing thoughts. I know how much pain you are, so take it away, good sir.
Yeah. I thank you, as always. It is an honor and a privilege to be here, as always. Honestly, there's really not much I can say beyond what I've said already. No matter my travels, no matter where I go, no matter what condition that I'm in, I'm going to give everything that I've got, whether it's 5% of me, 50%, 500%. It's I do this. I do this for the boys. I do this for the girls in the back. I do this for the fans, and I do this for the honor of all of this. And I can only pray that, especially for PWX, I pray that you guys will forgive me for failing in my quest. But as I said, if you will grant me the serenity to try to make this right, then I will do that. I will do everything I can to set this wrong right, and I will do this as promptly as I'm able to. I'm going to try to get my shoulder back in as best a condition as I can.
Don't do anything. Just keep it still. Keep it still.
I'm trying. As for Mr. John West, this Saturday, it's nothing personal. It's just business. But you're in the wrong place right now, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry right now. As for anything else and everyone else, well, we'll just have to see where it goes. But my main focus is Ego Trip. This Saturday, 2125 Beacon Street, the place to be to see yours truly take on John West. I'm looking forward to it, bad shoulder or no. And I want to see everyone available there. I want to see the PWX faithful cheer and gear, whatever you want to do. Just please be there. Please be there.
Or be square. Be there or be square. And I tell you something I will tell you, Godrick Sandwell, before we sign off, and I will get to a few more comments in the chat. The fans will forgive you. The fans will stand with you. They will be with you. And they are going to will you despite what you're going through right now, and John West is in the way to that road to gold, the road to redemption, and the road back to either your Three Rivers Championship or other gold or whatever else it might be. And that's why you got to be there. Coming up, 2125 Beacon Street, McKeesport, Pennsylvania, this Saturday. And I can tell you, as the host of the Sports Report, the owner of Sportzwire Radio, the #1 global radio station, your voice, figuratively and literally, with all wrestling matters, Reverend Tom Bryce, you didn't let anybody down. The people are with you, and we can't wait to see what's in store for PWX's Ego Trip. And the only one that's on an ego trip right now is going to be Godrick Sandwell and what he's going to do coming up here to John West. Let's just put it that way. Silas Walker, speaking of Pennsylvania people here, yes, he's got his own showdown coming up this weekend. He's going to certainly put on, let's just say, a few things out there. And yeah, he looks like he's maybe going to come for you or somebody else there for sure. But we definitely want to say hello to him. We're sending prayers to Judas. We're saying hello to Mr. Walker. And also, yes, we definitely know that Godrick Sandwell didn't let anybody down. We definitely know that we forgave, but we didn't even have to forgive Godrick Sandwell because we know he's a gentleman of exquisite caliber, and we know that he's here, and he has heroically showed why. Not only is PWX the #1 Pittsburgh wrestling company and one of the top ones in Pennsylvania, but why he is still forever. Our forever Three Rivers champion. Yeah, I'm with DVG. You better do your best. You are going to do your best. The best is yet to come. A rising tide will always lift all boats. Keep it still. Don't move that shoulder anymore. We want to thank you so much. Thank you so much for being so generous with your time, so hospitable. Mr. Sandwell, we will definitely see you here coming up this Saturday at McKeesport. I look forward to having you back next month to get us on that road to the historic 30-year anniversary show. And definitely keep up. Keep fighting. And to quote John Cena, never give up. We know you're never going to forgive up. And we can't wait. Yes, I'm with Robert Ryan. Just do your best. We're praying for you. The people here are showing that they're standing with you. And I think it's going to be multiplied in the hundreds by what we see here coming up at Ego Trip. So don't you worry. Let your heart not be troubled. And we can't wait to see you here coming up after the float when you get that big W here, that big W over John West. And I'm with Zilla. Just do your best. You got this. You got this. You got this. All right. You got this. And we're going to see you next month. And I know you definitely got this. See, good luck. Everybody's wishing you good luck. And we definitely know that Godrick Sandwell's got this. He is forever our Three Rivers champion. He is a gentleman of exquisite caliber. He is going to be in the ring here coming up this Saturday against John West in a huge showdown here coming to PWX's Ego Trip. We just saw him also at WVWF in that huge war against Damian Abel. We have a lot more ahead with him. Stay tuned for more details. And I'm your voice figuratively and literally where all wrestling matters. The Reverend Tom Bryce. If you are on Sportswire Radio, I'll be back here a couple of times tomorrow, but be important here. Andrew Lovelace is here at 8. I have Daniel Baldwin, DJ B is here at 3, and I'm here at 10 o'clock with Hunter G. DJ T. So a bunch of D's, but make sure you tune in for Andrew Lovelace, 8 o'clock with Richie Allen. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, on the #1 global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters, and we certainly know that Godrick Sandwell's going to get that job done. You definitely are going to feel better, my friend. And if you are out there, go to PWX's Facebook page. Make sure you follow them. Also, I'm 1 subscriber away from 1,300 on YouTube. Make sure you hit the sub button for me. Thank you so much, everybody. And we'll see you tomorrow and later, wherever else, and on Sportswire Radio, the only platform where all wrestling matters. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you later.